All right. This promises to be another explosive class and requires all the attention that you have. What I'm about to share right here would be, um, let me say, should be taking care of about 60 to 70% of all you need to know and all you need to do to become a winning trader in forex. Honestly, well, that will be when we're talking about the skill set and how to analyze the market. Okay. Psychology is still going to be king any day, anytime, but this particular topic is of utmost importance. You don't want to joke with it. I would be considering market structures, and then also note that market structure, this applies to any financial market there is, any financial market at all, be it binary options, cryptocurrencies, forex, stocks, whatever it is at all. So long there is a chart that can be seen, then there is a valid structure every point in time in the market. And I'm going to show how you can be able to interpret the structure of the market and then be able to make the most of it for your trading. All right. The market is either in a downtrend, an upward trend, or on a sideways movement. Other than these three, there's nothing else. No other thing is happening in the market. It's always going to be either an uptrend, downtrend, or a consolidation that is happening. All right, and then that's it. Let me keep this somewhere here. Okay, so how do you know when the market is in an uptrend or in a downtrend? Look at this. I'm sure we'll see this from time to time on all charts. Let me do that again. Okay, so long the market continues to create a higher low, so this will be your low point, and then a higher high. All right. So when you're considering an uptrend, for you to know that an uptrend is valid, you need to at least see that what you have two high points that are successfully higher than the other. That is, what this is saying is this point is higher than this point higher than this point higher than the previous high, this point higher than the previous high. Okay, and then this lower point is higher than the previous low, this higher than the previous low, this higher than the previous low, this higher than the previous low. That continues to show you that what we are in an uptrend. And then if you're adding this with the class on trend line, you would be able to understand much better how to be able to map them out. All right. On the other hand, we would always have what? Consolidation. That is, the market doesn't necessarily have a clear-cut direction yet, but price is just ranging within a particular zone. It's not creating new highs, neither is it creating significantly new lows, just oscillating in the same region, as you can see here. Just oscillation in the same regions. These are consolidation points, consolidation points. As a matter of fact, some people believe that the market is in consolidation for about maybe they say about 80% of the time or thereabout. I really can't tell, but consolidation is always very obvious. It happens in the middle of a trend. It happens while the trend is about to be formed, and on and on. And then consolidations, after consolidation points, the market either breaks up. If it breaks up, then it's going to do a retest, and then you have the continuation of an upward trend as we have here. Or on the other hand, it could be a break to the downside, something like this, breaking that particular range, retesting it, and then you have what? Don't mind my drawing, I'm quite poor with that, but honestly, this is even how the chart will always look like. The chart is not going to be all that super clean and rosy. Okay, so when you have a downtrend, how do you confirm that you have a downtrend? You need to focus on at least 2 points, like year and year, right? Where the market consistently created what? Low points, that is lower low, this low, right? The new low here is going to be lower than the previous low. This low, lower than the previous low. So that makes it lower lows. And then once the market continues to present to you lower lows, and then on the other side, that is the top side, this side, the market is creating what we refer to as higher lows, right? Or you call them, higher lows, or you refer to them as your lower highs, rather. Lower highs, it should be lower high. So on this side, the market is creating lower high. Okay. So what we're simply saying is what? Every high that is formed is what? Lower than the previous high. This high is lower than this high, this lower than this, this one lower than this lower than this. There would be situations like this in the for a downtrend. Now you could have situations like this, whereby there's quite, even at times, let me withdraw what I intend to illustrate. You could have this kind of situations. As you can see, and then you could even have something like this. Your focus should be on the overall structure. Look at this. Though it's coming back to this point, they remain the same, right? They remain the same. The market is not creating a high, it's not breaking, it's not creating a new high above what is in existence. You get, so that structure still remains very valid, even though what is it called? At the high point, it's not creating significant lows, right? But on the other hand, at the bottom, it continues to create what? Lower lows. That's what you should focus on. And then here, in this kind of situation too, if the market could, in an uptrend, the market could do something like this. Okay, could do something like this. Could do something like this. Could do, it could, no, sorry, this can't happen. Once something, let me take it again. I'm very bad with drawing, but please try and understand what I'm trying to say. So at the top side, keeps creating new highs, and then could do something like this, like this, like this, and then this. This structure still remains what? An uptrend, because what? A higher low has not been created. What makes an uptrend invalid is what? When you have a lower low, right? Once you have a lower low, an uptrend is invalidated. On the other hand, for your what's it called? For your downtrend, once you have an higher high, downtrend becomes what? Invalidated. All right, so this will be it, and then let me quickly see how we can spot that out on the chart. Give good attention to this. It's really going to help everything you're doing in trading. It's going to help everything that you're doing in trading. All right, let's look at this. Well, I can see two trends, two obvious trends right here. And then we could see this point and then this point to this point. Like I said, see, it didn't break, it didn't create a new low. So the uptrend is still what valid. And then look at this point. This, of course, is higher. This becomes higher still than this. So at this point, the uptrend is still very, very valid. The uptrend is still valid all through to this point. That is from starting from here down to this end is a clear uptrend. Look at to this point, see, to this point, we still can't conclude that what we have a downtrend yet, because though the market hasn't created new highs, neither has it created what new lows. So it hasn't created a lower low, no lower low yet. They still remain at the same zone. So you need to wait for the market to what to present itself what it's about to do. So for you to be able to take up that kind of situation, one should have what marked out with an horizontal line to show, because that's a support zone. And then once immediately is broken, right? Is broken, look out for the retest, possibly on same time frame where you are, right? And then you look out for the retest of the zone, that is a break, and then this. Let me zoom in to see if the retest already happened there. I know where I'm watching. Okay, this is where we're watching. Okay, and then you could see the candle that came back to retest it. All right, so this is it. All the way, we didn't have new lows, right? As much as possible, just try flow with what we're doing. Okay. All right, so this is it. We had the retest, and then we had what the continuation, and then the beginning of another trend. And then you can see carefully the market created, this low point, and then we continue to have a lower lows. We continue to have lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. You don't want to be buying in this kind of market, because there would be, because for every of these things that I've drawn, more like this kind of waves that you're seeing, there would be an impulse, right? And then retracement. You don't want to be trading the retracement majorly. You don't want to be trading, except for those who are scalping, which is not the best thing to do. Why not wait? Because look at your ability to retrace. Look at the retracement you're going to have here. Look at the retracement you're going to have here. It's not always as rewarding as trading the actual trend, in this case, which is a buy. Okay, so excuse me. So you continue to focus on what the lower lows, and then for those kind of situations when you're in a downtrend. All right, so I've been able to with this chart, my recommendation would be that you go on diverse other charts to go ensure that what you spot all of these kind of opportunities. And then never forget, if you are analyzing, always better to start from a higher time frame down to the lower one, so that you can actually see the overall trend. Because you don't want to be focusing on an if, for example, the overall trend of the market, maybe on the daily chart, is a downtrend, and then you're seeing an uptrend on your M30 thereabout. It means whatever you want to do there is meant to be a scalp. Okay, whatever you want to do there would definitely and should definitely just be a scalp. You really don't have a business trying to force the market to do what it's not doing. Look at this from this high point, and then this was okay. This was the previous higher low, and then it got broken. Once the higher low got broken, we start having what? Look at, this is a low, this is a low, this is a low. Never forget, this still remains valid, because what? Okay, And then here we have more like, if you look at the body of these candles, they are not really uh, predominantly giving you that the structure has changed, okay? But look at this low, and then we have this, okay? This ended up not going as a lower low. So in this kind of situation, you either want to scalp or just be very careful or not really do much of trading right here, and then focus on what the trend again, and then always be careful to always understand that what the end of a particular trend is actually the beginning of another. Okay, the end of one trend is the beginning of another trend, and then you need to always watch out for that. So peace out on this one. If you've got comments, and would like to hear from you how you feel and then how you're doing after watching this class. Thank you very much. See you on the next one.